Well, hello, friends. How's everybody this fine Wednesday? It is a little overcast and a little chilly here in Portland, Oregon, but it's all great. Hey, thanks for tuning in today to Fundraising Business Talk. My name's Patrick Cyber. I'm the owner and primary auctioneer for G Events based here in Oregon. And I decided earlier this year that I was going to live stream every week at Wednesdays at noon and just talk about whatever was happening in the fundraising auction business. It's been an incredible run the last 10 months, 12 months now. And to see all of our gathering events go to virtual, and there's just so many things changing on a daily, weekly basis, it feels like, that I thought this live stream would be helpful for my clients and for those in the fundraising world to be able to tune in and then maybe watch the replays and pick up some tips that help them and their nonprofit raise more money in this new environment. So that would being said, we have a guest, try to have a guest each week, and it's always fun. I want to ask you if you could do me a favor and stick your where you're at and say hi and put it in the chat, and we'll take a look at it. I also want to encourage you to feel free to ask a question in the comments or the chat window, and we will address them as we go. At this time, I want to welcome our guest today. She's Michele, and I have worked together now for several years, and she's been a tremendous supporter of the nonprofit community with her company that she's with, auctionpackages.com. And let's give her a big round of virtual applause to our good friend, Michele Anderson.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you
so much. Hey, Michele, what's happening?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. We're actually, a lot of times my guests are not here in town, but you are. So this is great.
I am here with you. And yes, it is a little overcast, a little gloomy here in Portland, as usual, but no rain.
Traditional Chamber of Commerce Day in Portland. So here we go. Hey, Michele, you're with auctionpackages.com, as I always say, because I always like to say the whole thing so people know right where to go. Give me a sense. Auction Packages in the industry, we call it a consignment company, but it's so much more. Can you share with us a little bit about what Auction Packages does?
Yeah, you're right. It is so much more than just a consignment. We really are passionate about helping nonprofits raise money. We're a leading provider of travel consignment. So for the nonprofit sector, we have close to 200 unique packages that support their fundraising goals. Working with us is a risk-free, very simple process with comprehensive service. Our passion is to truly deliver an unforgettable experience for that donor, and also helping the nonprofits build a reputation for providing priceless, unique adventures for their donor base.
That's awesome, and you guys do a fantastic job. I wanted to have you. You sent me some photos earlier, and I want to throw them up. And if you could be so kind as to give us a little brief description of each of them, and if I don't move quick enough, just tell me, hey, Patrick, show me the next picture. But I think that I'll fall in line, and we'll take it from there. Okay.
Great, I'd love to.
Let's start with this first package. Is really cool.
Yeah, this is our USA Explorer package. This one has been really popular. The donor will have the choice from 5 popular destinations. We also customize the choices based on the location and the audience interest. So really customizing has been really important. We understand having choice and flexibility, especially with our current times, is truly important.
Yeah, and I love this package for a lot of different reasons, but the fact that you guys are able to customize it, I mean, I recommend to my clients, let's always pick a couple of options where people can drive to, a couple of options they can get on an airplane to. I think that you know, in our current times, as you mentioned, we have to be somewhat sensitive to what we're asking our donors to purchase and their ability to use it. Here's another package that I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, Los Cabos has been hands down the most popular package over this last 6 to 8 months. It's been doing really great. And with this particular package, your donors will enjoy 5 nights at a beautiful beachfront resort with gorgeous views. The resort sits above the shoreline where the Sea of Cortez meets the Pacific Ocean, and every suite faces the ocean. So you'll definitely have a spectacular view from your balcony.
Yeah, if I pause, it's because I'm trying to catch my breath. I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful place, and I think we can all use a little sand in our toes in
Right.
this crazy time. But in international travel, I mean, some people it works for, some people it doesn't. But it's great to hear that it's really popular. I know for us here in the Northwest, when I get ready to sell one of these packages in the old gathering environment, I said, you notice that it's never raining in any of these pictures and the videos. And I always remind them, it guaranteed it will be raining in Portland when you are in Los Cabos. So yeah,
Right.
what a cool place. But
And
somewhere close to us, you have a really cool experience with a private home.
yeah, we have a beautiful home in Napa Valley, and it's also been a really great getaway for the West Coast. The home is minutes away from downtown, and it comes with 8 hours of private chauffeur. The home accommodates 4 people, and we also, again, we can customize experiences, pick wineries, pick all kinds of experience, spa treatments, golf, right there in the area, and really have a great package for your clients.
And do you find that some clients are kind of like the concept of staying in a private home, right? Gives them flexibility. Maybe this is a great package to go in with another couple or meet the family, have a little family reunion. Those grandparents that maybe don't have the big home anymore, but they want to get together with their family. These are the great packages. I see it happen all the time in live auctions where we sell this to someone. And I'm thinking it's, I ask them later, how did you use it? And they say, well, we used it to bring, our 2 children and our grandchildren together. I mean, the private home format or girls weekend, just really cool stuff that can happen in these private homes. It's great stuff. Here's another one that catches my attention and just makes me want to go grab my passport.
I know, right? Look at that water. Isn't it gorgeous? Yeah. This condo is in St. Martin's in a marina community with a European Mediterranean feel. It's also part of our beach collection. So again, going to the private residence, giving some choice to the audience. With our beach collection, they would have the choice of a luxurious condo here in St. Martin or in Costa Rica or the Bahamas. So all amazing destinations with that private home. They're 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, spacious condos, perfect for those getaways that you're talking about with families or couples.
Yeah, no, it's totally awesome, and I mean, you just get the itch to travel when you see these, and can't wait to be able to do it again, freely like we have in the past. And that brings up a good point, and I know you guys have. One of the things I've seen in the consignment industry is with expiration dates. What has Auction Packages done with their expiration dates or date for use of these packages?
Yeah, we are doing our best to accommodate donors and travelers to make sure that they are traveling safe. And we've extended everything by 6 months, some cases even a little bit longer, to really ensure that people are traveling when they're comfortable. We're encouraging, supporting the nonprofits now without that worry of when you're going to use this package. You'll have time to travel, you'll be able to travel, but keep supporting these important missions.
Yeah, no, and I think that's important. And I've seen from the industry, and especially a great company like Auction Packages is really monitoring the situation. You can't extend forever, but at the same time, you guys have been extremely flexible with folks and trying to take into account the current effects of what's going on. And then this package here, signed me up. How do I get there?
I know, right? You and me both. Look at that view from the bedroom. Like, oh. This is a St. Lucia private villa. It is, again, spectacular. It has an ultimate peace and tranquility experience with an idyllic modern hideaway. The main bedroom features 2 queen beds and a private in-suite. However, there's also an adjacent main house with like a Caribbean style honeymoon suite, which also has its own in-suite bathroom. So truly ensuring some privacy and having an incredible getaway. Your sand in the toes, right? Your toes in the sand.
Right. I can picture cabana people running around, right? And lots of little umbrellas, and not for the rain, because once again, there is no rain in any of these photos, and it's just a blast to see these places and to get excited about it. I want to talk a little bit, Michele, about the uses of consignment packages, right? I think we traditionally in the industry, whether they're MPOs, nonprofit organization, or organizers of these events, they think of the live auction. But give me a sense of you've seen some other creative uses.
Yeah, we've been seeing them in raffles as well as just on online auctions, whether it's truly a silent online auction or a virtual gala with a obviously online auction, but with more of a live auction feel to it.
Right.
Getting really creative with sponsorships and underwriting, which you have some fantastic ideas that are even new to me. I can't wait to get into and explore them a little bit more. But they're certainly being still a part of fundraising for sure, even though we feel a little uncertain about travel. Travel's coming back and people are getting excited, and it's been great the last few months to really see people jump in and ready to.
Yeah, I think it's really, one of the things that I've learned since we started doing these virtuals back in March is, there's a lot of opinions out there. There's a lot of different formats. There's a lot of different things going on. And I've heard some auctioneers, people who I greatly respect, that quite honestly mention that they haven't had success with travel. Yet I've had tremendous success with travel. I think I shared with you when we were chatting the other day, I had one event that I had virtually the exact same travel packages in the auction, and it was virtual, and we sold them for double what we had sold them for the previous year in a gathering environment. So I would encourage the nonprofits out there, as I always do, query your audience a little bit, right? I mean, I tell folks all the time, this is a lovely package, this looks phenomenal. But the golden question that I always encourage them to ask is, who are the 5 people in your community that are going to bid on this? And they say, yeah. I say, can you name 5 people? And then I follow that up with, how much are they going to bid, right? Because, they may see this incredible place, but, they're not going to bid enough that it makes sense for the nonprofit to put in their event. At the same time, we've expanded our audience. There's some things that are cool about this virtual world. One is the extended time that we bid. I mean, in the past, many times you had no idea what the packages were until literally you were sitting at your table and there was a catalog there and you used to look at them. And I don't know about you and your household, but those weren't single-minded decisions in the past, right? We had to kind of come together with our spouse, our significant other, think about, hey, do we really want to do this? Da, 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 da. I mean, there was it was, and I think a lot of times we didn't bid because it kind of got popped on us in the last minute, right? And some of that's on the event because we should be promoting these packages in advance. But in this new world of having a whole week, and I recommend all my clients a minimum of a week for online bidding, that we see something different, and we have an expanded market too, right? Let's talk a little bit, Michele. I'll get back to our agenda because I kind of tend to digress. Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the benefits of consignment. And the first one that comes to me is the ease of procuring, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think the ease of procuring the packages is probably one of the biggest benefits. You're ensuring that you're going to have an amazing experience for that donor.
Right.
You have a little bit more control of that trusted relationship with us, with our concierge team, and knowing that the donor is going to have a curated experience from start to finish. And it really saves a lot of time on that procurement side.
Yeah, I mean, the procurement, in this day and age right now, I mean, some organizations are really concerned about asking people to donate, their timeshares, their homes, their vacation homes, whether it's just because things might be different for those folks financially, but also the exposure during the pandemic with, do we really want to be, as a nonprofit organization, do we want to be in the middle of, putting these two groups together and not knowing the COVID safety issues and all that stuff? And that's what's great about using a procurement company, because a consignment company is, because you guys have already taken care of all those, right? You have everything professionally cleaned. The guest, the buyer, the nonprofit organization can feel totally comfortable that they're going to get to a facility or to a place that they're staying in. It's going to be, that all goes away. The other thing I think about is no upfront money, right? I mean, that's a huge factor. And explain how that works with auctionpackages.com.
Yeah, that is a huge factor, and it's very simple. There's no money upfront. You don't have to pay for anything until after the package is sold. So we're ensuring that the nonprofit is having no risk. If for any reason it doesn't sell at the event, then there's no obligation.
Right.
So,
and that's powerful.
I have done our work beforehand where we have the strategy, we have the promotion, and hopefully, obviously the goal is that it sells even multiple times, right? But
exactly.
The piece there though is no money up front. So there's not a risk in the chance that something doesn't work out the way as expected. Exactly.
Right. And that's awesome, because, in this case, most nonprofits aren't in a position, they don't want to roll the dice that they can sell this package. At the same time, and there's always naysayers in the committee, right, that are saying, oh, that'll never sell. And then we come in and we sell it for a lot, and we sell multiples, right? Which brings me to my next point. Okay. We've all been to the auction, and we've seen two groups, parties, individuals get fired up, and they get in that big bidding war, right? And be it an auctioneer, I start doing the math in my head while I'm talking fast, right? Because I kind of live in a Windows environment, right? And I start thinking to myself, I so wish I had a second one of these that I could pull out of my back pocket and sell them both to the two high bidders, right? And make that extra money for the nonprofit. But this is a house at a resort that's privately held by a donor, and they're not in the room, and I don't want to put them on the spot if they're willing to give an extra week. I don't have to worry about that with the consignment companies.
Nope, you don't have to worry about that. You get to respond to whatever excitement is there in the room.
Exactly. And, we don't multiply until we know we've covered the cost of the trip, right? And the reserve. And, we call it the reserve in the auction industry. But the fact that I know I have the flexibility to make a decision on the fly, whether it's on the microphone in a ballroom or it's in my home studio doing a virtual, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, it's really, really powerful that we can always make multiples available. And then, the other thing I think about that sticks out in my mind, Michele, is that for the nonprofit, the fulfillment side of consignment is so easy comparative to trying to match up that donor that gave us that beach house for a week and getting their schedule to match up with the person who bought it, who may or may not have read all the details and, has a special request. And now the nonprofit, that volunteer, that development director, whoever that event coordinator is at the nonprofit's caught in the middle. It's brutal, but we don't have to deal with that. We don't have to deal with that with a consignment company, because once we've sold it and once the nonprofit has, collected the money, paid the money to the consignment company, kept the profits, they're out of it.
Exactly. They're out of it. We connect with the donor from there, and we handle everything from there. We make sure they know what the terms and conditions are, and we provide a full concierge service. So again, going back to that, creating lifelong memories and help this nonprofit build a reputation for priceless adventures, because not only are they getting concierge service for something that they're expecting, but if they want to make changes, we can do that for them.
Yeah.
I ask people, we'll price it out and quote it, and we'll do that for them. So
Yeah.
to turn that vacation into anything they want versus it having to be specifically one hotel room or one
Right.
week. We can make it whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, it's awesome. And I just think that's a really, really you're providing a first class experience for that donor who purchased the trip at the event. And you know what, that affects donor retention, right? That, you can have the most compelling cause in the world as a nonprofit organization, but if you irritate that donor, and it could be because the person who donated the beach house or the weekend cabin at the mountains, whatever it is, didn't follow through on what they said, or the house wasn't what they expected, or anything that could put that person uneasy about, they relate that experience to the organization, and I don't think that's good, right? And so I just have all the confidence in the world when my clients ask me, hey, we're thinking about incorporating some consignment packages, who would you recommend? That's why I never have a problem saying, hey, call Michele at auctionpackages.com, and away we go, right? So that's very important. And one of the things that you alluded to a minute ago, and we'll dive into a little bit here, is the reserve price, right? There is a cost to this, okay? And so, for many organizations, and I've worked with a lot, but many organizations, they say, hey, we've got this incredible package, but it is going to cost us $1,500, $2,500, okay, if you sell it. So, they always say to me, hey, we want to make sure we sell it for more than that cost of the package. And I say, yeah, no, I totally get that. And so now all of a sudden, let's say it might be a $5,000 valued trip, but it costs the organization $2,500. When I sell it, we hope to get the $5,000 or more, depending on the crowd. But I think what's awkward, Michele, is that if I had, let's say, 5, 10 different packages in my live auction, and I started most of those packages at $100 or $500 because they didn't have any reserves to them, and I know when I start the bidding lower, I'm going to get more bids, and I'm going to get higher bids in the end, right? Because there's that pride of ownership, that fear of loss. As soon as they start bidding on one of those trips to Los Cabos, they can feel the sand in their toes, right? So what's awkward is I start all those packages at low numbers, and then we come to that consignment package, and now I'm starting at $2,500, and that's for a lot of people, that's a barrier to entry, right? Because taking us back to what we were talking about a moment ago, I didn't know what was even available in that gathering event until I sat down at the table and saw the catalog, right? And I definitely didn't think I was going to spend $2,500. But if I could have bid $500 to start, and I could feel the sand in my toes,
right,
then away I go, right? Yeah. And who knows, I might spend $5,000 on it, but because I got caught up in it, right? So one of the ways to avoid that situation and that awkwardness and be able to start at a lower price is what I call it underwriting the consignment package, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And what I mean by that, folks, is that let's identify, in most cases, a sponsor who is willing to underwrite that package, in essence, commit to be able to buy that package outright. So then we can sell it at whatever price we sell it at. Now, we're totally confident and optimistic, or we're not doing our job if we don't think that we're going to sell it for more than that reserve price or that cost to the organization or to the sponsor. At the same time, we know that we're going to have more activity, and if we can start it lower, we have a better chance of even getting a higher price, right? So, underwriting would be having someone cover the hard cost of that item, that package, before we take it to the auction, okay? And there's a lot of benefits to that person who's willing to underwrite, and I want to run through a few of them, and step in anytime, Michele, and add your thoughts. But first and foremost, if I've got a sponsor who has underwritten that package. And I just gave you an example. It's a trip worth $5,000, but it costs the organization $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do people think when they see that package promoted in the catalog, whether it's online or in gathering event, and they see that XYZ company or XYZ individual provided a $5,000 trip, right? So they look like a hero, right?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, and they only had to underwrite the 2,500. The other thing is that as an auctioneer, when I'm standing up there and I get those two bidders or those three bidders going hard, and all of a sudden I want to multiply it, I can play along, right?
Right.
And say, you know, hey, Mrs. Jones, would you be willing to give us a second trip to Los Cabos? And they go, you sure? Not that we're gonna take the underwriting cost out of the sale, right? So, you know, they sponsored the first one. I've got the price up high enough that if I sell a second one, we'll buy the second trip out of that revenue, right? But just to do the math, if I get two bidders to $5,000, right? Mm-hmm. And we've already got 2,500 underwritten. Well, I could sell one for 5,000, or I could sell two for 10 and take 2,500 off. I just made the organization $7,500, right? So the concept of being able to multiply and me being able to reach out to that person who underwrote the first one and say, hey, are you willing to provide us a second one? And they go, yeah. And you can only imagine what the audience does. The audience goes nuts, right? I mean, you've seen it 100 times. The other opportunity that I think is that they
on that really quick too, Patrick, just acknowledging that donor, that person, the individual that just sponsored it, gets recognition, gets the credit for $10,000 coming in the door instead of just 5,000. Even so it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's huge.
Great.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely fantastic. One of the other things that I caught my attention was really, especially right in this new virtual world, but there's an opportunity for a lot higher profile recognition. Okay. Right. So, you know, when you think about the traditional sponsorship at a gathering event and somebody, you know, sponsored, gave 500, gave 1,000, gave 1,500, gave 2,000. I don't, you know, maybe they got a little ad in the catalog. Maybe they got a banner in the gym, or, you know, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. Their name on the table, right? We value so highly in our gathering events. With consignment, we can make that person look pretty much a hero, because we say right in there, this trip to Los Cabos, this trip to St. Martin's is generously provided by XYZ company or XYZ individual, mm-hmm. right? And then when I'm up on stage and my MC introduces that package and they say, hey, this was generously donated by so-and-so, and I say, what a great company, what a great person, longtime supporter of our organization here tonight, making a difference in the community. What a great company. I just think there's incredible opportunity there for much higher profile recognition. I've even seen some creative stuff, Michelle, and I know you have too. I've seen having the donor do a video description of the package, right? Yeah,
that's a fantastic idea. Yeah.
You know, and auction packages provides very well thought out, well scripted descriptions in your one sheet. And all I need to do is record that donor, right, sitting at their desk at their office, and we'll put their company logo behind them and let them describe, hey, our next package up is blah, 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 blah. And our company is so happy to be able to offer this to you today. The other thing that I think is opportunity is social media promotion, right? I mean, you know, being able to the gorgeous photos that you provide from auctionpackages.com that can be used, whether it's in the catalog or the online catalog, and depending on the software, you can share right from that page description to your own social media to the nonprofit social media. And now all of a sudden that company who donated is right there.
Right. And we can help with that, or organizations can create their own content where it's the image with their logo on it, not our logo. So it's donated by XYZ company, not auction packages.
Yeah, how cool is that, right? And I haven't. I always cringe when I see, the slideshow before a gathering event, and they're showing me a picture of that house at the beach that we've been talking about, right? That the donor gave, and the picture's out the window, and if you look over the dumpster that's between there and the parking lot, and over the top of that, you can see this little sliver of a beach, right? You can see this little sliver of ocean. Have we not all seen that, right? And what I love about working with auction packages is you have glamorous photos. I haven't seen a dumpster in any of them, right? I haven't seen a parking lot yet, right? Please don't send me another picture of a kitchen, okay? We all have kitchens, okay? But you guys do such a great job of promoting the item. And then when a sponsor or an underwriter puts their name next to that, it represents their brand, right? So
exactly.
Kudos to what Auction Packages does. It's awesome. And then in this virtual world, being able to highlight it on a live stream, you've seen the results. Been phenomenal of what we've done with live streaming in our business, in the fundraising auction business. And
and an opportunity right there to kudos to you and to your industry as a whole. I've been benefit auctioneers have really stepped in and supported each other and shared ideas, and it's just pulling the industry ahead together. I think
I appreciate you saying that, because I as you and I know, I did my first one March 11th and found out I was moving to virtual March 9th, right? So literally 24 hours. But the next 3 months, I think we had benefit auctioneers around the country on Zoom calls on a daily, weekly basis, sharing what we were seeing. And same with the consignment companies and our auction software platforms and everybody else, really diving in. I think our commitment to our nonprofit clients has been outstanding, and the results have been incredible. The 15 I did this last year in 2020, 12 of them exceeded more than they had made the previous year, netted more dollars than they'd made the previous year. And several of them had their all-time highs. One event actually doubled what they had made the year before, which was their all-time high. So yeah, the results are incredible, right? And the live streaming is cool. Now, we talked about underwriting, okay? And I've been sharing that story with my nonprofit clients for years, and I would say, just if I was going to be frank, I've been somewhat disappointed with the results. They haven't necessarily had a lot of success taking, they're all smiling and shaking, the little puppy in the window, when I'm explaining it to them, but then it doesn't happen, right? And as we've moved into this new virtual world, I think we have an incredible opportunity, and I am starting to see a lot of success with this. And I want to touch base on this a little bit here about what we're talking about. And I want to remind our viewers, please type in a comment, ask us a question, or shoot us where you're tuning in from today. We'd be happy to answer your questions right here. We got the expert in Michele, and then you got this, fast talking dude over here that's happy to, whether he knows the truth or not, he's got an answer for you. So let's talk a little bit about securing underwriting in this new package, in this new world. Okay. First and foremost, Michele, one of the things I think about is set the price for this sponsorship package above the MPO cost of the package, right? Because I look at it, and I'm going to just stick with the same, example I've been using, the $2,500 cost on a $5,000 package. I would look to try to sell that for, let's say, $3,000. Okay. because I think that there is definitely a value to all the exposure that we can provide them that was not available in the gathering environment that is now available in this new environment. I think that's powerful. So I always set the price a little higher than what that cost is of the package. The other thing that I would tell you is, as we make this move to virtual, there's a lot of things that are different. Okay. And we had silent auctions, we had raffles, we had live auctions, we had paddle raises or fund to needs. Okay. And we've been able to convert all those to the virtual world really easily. Okay. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think that we get left behind a lot of times was the sponsorships that we had in our gathering events. And, whether it was buying a sponsorship for the, centerpieces, or buying a sponsorship for being on the back of the tickets, or, being the venue sponsor or the social hour sponsor.
Photo booth sponsor.
The photo booth, right?
Table for 10, and your name's on the table. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The table buyers is the one that I think is, it's the best one, right? Because we talk all the time that virtuals cost less money, because you're not buying food, you're not buying a bar tab, you're not, renting a venue, all these other things. But the first thing I tell people is you don't have that ticket revenue either, right? Because best practices to date in our, evolution into the virtual world has been that we don't charge, right, to attend these virtual live stream or online auctions. And so we don't charge the attendees. So we lost that ticket revenue. Yes, we lost the expense. What I want to talk about right now, though, is capturing some of that lost revenue and bringing it into the new virtual environment in the form of underwriting of consignment trips. And the perfect one is the table buyer, right? Here's someone who is a big supporter of the nonprofit, loves that nonprofit. They wouldn't have bought a table, right? They populated it with people that they felt like would join them in supporting that nonprofit. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they didn't do it because they got a really nice chicken dinner, right? I mean, they did it because they love the organization. And in many cases, that person, if there was a gathering event tomorrow, they would buy another table for that organization, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And a lot of times these tables, might be, depending on the organization, might be $2,500 a table, might be $1,500, could be $500, right?
Yeah.
But if we can offer that supporter who used to buy the table the opportunity to underwrite one of these consignment auction packages and give them all the benefits, right?
Right.
And we're not out searching for new dollars, and new dollars in these environments can be challenging, whether it's truly challenging or it's just mentally challenging for the committee. I think, going, looking, banging on doors for new sponsors is challenging. So I think, a lot of these organizations, we really want to take advantage of the opportunity to capture dollars that they've received in the past, to change what the donor is getting. And I think one of the great ones is using those table buyers to underwrite some of these auction packages.
Yeah, I think that has a lot of potential.
Yeah, and it's working so far. And the other nice thing is it's okay to bundle them, right? If you've got that package, that's that wonderful auction package that's fairly expensive, or maybe your tables were not as expensive. Maybe your tables were $500 a piece, and you're looking at underwriting a $1,500 package. We'll get 3 of those tables together and ask them to do it, right? Because we see it all the time, right? You get that package that has a vacation home and dinner certificates and da-da-da-da-da-da. There's like 5 people they thank in the catalog, or I thanked them on stage. And now we can do the same thing with our table buyers. So I think that's an incredible opportunity. And I hope that, people will embrace it and have some success with it, because I know you're going to be sharing it with your clients, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a lot of potential, and the amount of recognition, like you've already mentioned, is having that person's name appear so many times throughout that week, and being, so they're getting so much more recognition for that, and the possibility of leveraging it, knowing like, hey, if I'm going to do $500 with these other 3 people, I'm getting that recognition, but there's also an opportunity to turn that $1,500 into $5,000. Like that would mean a lot to me. Like I can't do a $5,000 donation to your organization, but I love the idea that if I give you $500, there's the potential that that's going to leverage into
significantly more, right?
Make me feel so good, and make me feel like my $500 made so much more of an impact than I could have even imagined.
Well, and you know, it's funny. I'm working with a client right now who it's a school, and traditionally they have assigned each classroom to make a basket, right? And then we sold these baskets at their event, okay? And you know, based on the pandemic, we're not really in a position to, you know, the parents aren't in a position to go out and solicit donations, and they're not allowed to go to the school. They're not going to the school on a daily basis and whatnot. So the decision was made that we would ask each parent to make a very nominal donation of $10 per student. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you had, you know, 1 child in the class, then you gave it $10. If you had multiple children at the schools, you know, 3 kids, $30, right?
Right.
And we had about 300, I think 350 students in the school. Well, we set it up on Octria, which is one of my favorite auction platforms. They do a fabulous job. Yeah. And they've been in the online fundraising auction business for many years. That's what they were funded on. Mm-hmm. And so their ability to add, how would I call it, components, add elements to their software to really include the live auction element and a virtual, it's unbelievable. But good kudos to our friends at Octria. Anyhow, I was able to set up a catalog for them that each item was the classroom, right? And so parents logged onto the website and made their donations, and we were overwhelmed. The organization raised over $10,000 through that program. We were hoping for 2,500 out of 350 kids, right? And we ended up with 10,000. Well, what's going to happen is we're buying some consignment packages. In fact, I know they've been in touch with you, and they already, I think they have that choose your destination package, and they're looking at a couple of others. And so, you know, what a great way to take that money from the parents, and then we're going to leverage it and sell it for even more. And the hope is, because we're virtual, we're going to get grandparents and friends that don't live in the area, that aunt, that uncle, that, you know, where we used to live, friends, or maybe we used to go to school there, but now we live in another part of the country because of our job. We're going to get them to buy those packages, and we're going to sell the heck out of them. And we're going to turn that 10,000 into 25 or 30, hopefully. Right. So
yeah.
Crazy
stuff too. Think about that parent thinking, I can just donate $10 instead of running around all over town. They're probably going to end up donating 50. Like, yeah,
absolutely. Well, and that's what happened, right? And you know, but it was a fun idea, and it's working really well. Hey, Michele, I've gone over time, which is not surprising, being the oxygen thief that I am. But this is a subject that I really think is an opportunity for our nonprofit friends to utilize in their benefit auction, and to make a dramatic change in their end results, and to provide a package when people have a week to bid on it, when they can talk it over, when they can start at a lower number because of underwriting, when they can do all those things. I think there's an incredible opportunity. And I know as an auctioneer, I'm always sensitive, right, to people, you know, my clients, my committees that I work with, asking me, hey, we want to learn more about consignment. Well, I'm not a consignment. I'm not a vendor, right? I'm not on the payroll at auctionpackages.com. And, you know, so I only want to recommend companies that I trust. And, you know, your name and Auction Packages is top of that list. And we send that out. And for me, I know that I don't have to worry whether when I sell that package, whether it's going to be as great a place as it looked in the picture. I don't have to worry about how that donor who just made that commitment to that charity, how they're going to be treated. They're going to have a wonderful experience, and the nonprofit is not going to have to do a bunch of extra work to make it happen. It's incredibly powerful. So thanks for all that you do and all the things that happen at auctionpackages.com. You guys are a great customer and a great partner to so many nonprofits. I just thank you so much, and really appreciate you taking the time to visit with me and the audience today.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Patrick. We enjoy working with you. We appreciate everything you do, and we do take a lot of pride in our relationships. We take a lot of pride in the service that we provide to both the nonprofit as well as that donor on their experience. So I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no, you guys are doing a great job. And hey, I want to wrap up. I'm going to say goodbye to you, but as I do, I'm going to show this little video recapping those gorgeous photos that we talked about earlier. And people can just very simply, all they need to do is go to auctionpackages.com and they can peruse. How many, you said 200 packages? Is that what I heard you say earlier?
Yeah, roughly 200, and endless opportunities with customizing.
Yeah. So reach out to our friends at auctionpackages.com. Check out the incredible inventory of packages. Go back to your group. When you think you've got the right ones, ask them, who are the 5 people going to bid on this? And if they say yes, I got 5 people in my head, they tell you the 5 names, ask them, how much do you think they're going to bid? And that gives you a sense of whether it makes sense for your organization or not. Michele, thank you so very much. I'm going to cut to this video, and we'll be right back to you. Thanks so much for joining me today, Michele.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Well, thank you so very much to my good friend Michele Anderson, doing a great job representing auctionpackages.com. They're a fabulous organization, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to get to visit with her today and share some of the great things happening in their world of consignment packages and helping you make more money. Hey, fundraising business talk is every week on Wednesdays at noon, and I want to make sure that you feel comfortable joining us. And, ask questions and, share with us, let us help you. I mean, this new world is changing dramatically and fast, and we want to make sure that we're there to support you, because without you, we don't exist. I see that I've got a comment from a good friend. I'm going to throw it up there. Our good buddy, Carol Ross over at the Portland Rose Festival Foundation. What an incredible organization, over 100 years old. And just getting started. The way they've embraced the virtual world, we did their virtual auction last year. They had their Rose Festival Honors Luncheon they did virtually last year. So they may be 100 years old, but thanks to Carol and Marilyn and Jeff and the team over there, they have embraced this new environment and done a great job. So Carol, thanks for tuning in, and really appreciate your comment and joining us today. Hey folks, next week, we're going to have a lot of fun. We've got another good friend, another Michele, but she's with 2 L's, not 1 L, 2 L's. My buddy Michele Anderson's 1 L, but Michele Fritz from Chehalem Winery, part of the Stoller family of wines, is going to be joining us and chatting about using wine and some of the unique and incredible programs that we've worked with them on. To help you and your nonprofit organization make more money in this fundraising world. Thanks so much for joining us. Can't tell you enough how much we appreciate you. If we can ever be of assistance, please do not hesitate to let us know. And until next week, we'll be thinking of you. And remember, the last bid always wins. Talk to you soon.